Chapter 8. Oyez, oyez, oyez. Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg arrived at her first Supreme Court hearing in October 1993. Oyez, 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 called out the marshal to open the court session. Oyez means hear ye. It's pronounced oyez. Everyone in the courtroom stood as the 9 justices entered and took their seats. As the newest justice, Ruth sat at the far end of the long, curved bench. She was easy to spot. Ruth, along with Sandra Day O'Connor, wore a white, lacy collar over her black robe. It didn't take long for Ruth to speak up. The Supreme Court's new term is off to a roaring start, observed one famous lawyer and writer. In her first hour on the bench, Ginsburg asked 17 questions. This was more than some judge asked in weeks. Collars tell a story. A judge's robe was designed for men to wear. It has an opening at the neck for a shirt and tie. So Ruth wears lace or beaded collars to give the robe some female flair. Sandra Day O'Connor started the tradition. Beyond fashion, Ruth's many collars speak a language all their own. A white lace collar tells people she agrees with the winning side. Her black beaded bib collar lets people know she disagrees. A gold collar dangling with beads means she will announce the majority opinion. Ruth loved her new job. "I think I have the best job in the world for a lawyer," she said. But the workload was fierce. A team of 4 young clerks and 2 secretaries helped out. Some of her staff juggled work and caring for young kids at home, just as Ruth used to do. Now her younger child, James, was 28. So Ruth let her staff set their own hours. Countless decisions had to be made every day, starting with which cases the Supreme Court would hear. The court receives thousands of appeals. It can only decide on about 150 each year. Ruth, along with the other justices, accepts the cases that have far-reaching effects across the nation. In 1996, a case came to the court that had special meaning for Ruth. A famous military school, Virginia Military Institute, VMI, wanted to remain all male. They said female students would destroy the school. Ruth disagreed. If a young woman could handle VMI's tough program, she should get the chance, Ruth believed. The majority of justices agreed with Ruth. Because of her long history in women's rights, she had the honor of reading the court's opinion from the bench. An opinion is the court's verdict. It was one of her proudest moments. The 9 justices on the court formed a close-knit family. Their unique job brought them together for a lifetime, or until one or another retired. Sometimes they disagreed sharply. Ruth never responded in anger. That just wasted time and energy. She knew differences of opinion were bound to happen on the court. After all, it was complicated to interpret the U.S. Constitution. It was written in 1787, when many modern issues were unheard of. Minority rights, the environment, and unions are just a few. Once Ruth decided on a case, she had to get at least 4 other judges to agree with her. The majority rules on the court. 5 out of 9 justices have to agree in order for a case to win. Strong opinions didn't stop the justices from getting along. Ruth said the Supreme Court is one of the friendliest places she has ever worked. That's proven in the robing room before every court session. The robing room is like the justices' locker room. Their robes are kept there inside personal lockers. 10 minutes before court time, they gather to slip their robes on over their street clothes. Then a special ritual takes place. It started back in the 1800s. Every justice goes around the room shaking hands with the other 8. Ruth says it shows we are in this together and we revere the court and want to leave it in as good shape as we found it. A busy schedule kept Ruth glued to her desk until Marty came to her chambers, office, and coaxed her home. On weekends, the two enjoyed an active social life in Washington, D.C. Opera remained their favorite outing. "When I am at an opera, I get totally carried away," said Ruth. Backstage visits with the cast were one of the perks of being a well-known justice. Ruth even got to appear in one opera wearing a white wig. Of course, she didn't sing. Vacations still sometimes brought out Ruth's daredevil side. She parasailed in southern France, whitewater raft down the rushing Colorado River, and water skied every chance she got. Ruth didn't do anything halfway, whether it was work or play.